Hello, good evening, everybody. How is your evening going? You guys know me, I'm Kate Saynor, and I am here to talk to you tonight about 12 ways to help boost your motivation to exercise. So I want it to be a really informal chat. Please do ask questions and say hi. And I'm just going to give everybody a chance to find me. I'm going to get you up on my screen here. When you see me and you're logged on, do say hi. Let me know where you are in the country. Some of you guys will be in New Zealand. I know we've got a few people from Australia that are going to join us. We've got some people in the UK and maybe even further afield. So let me know what you're up to. Besides joining in the live. If you're watching it via the replay, please write replay and I'll know that you've been here. And we shall get going talking about motivation. So let's just grab you up on screen just to check that it's broadcasting okay. Hang on, here we go. Let's find the discussion. Okay, I've just got one person wanting to join the group. Have you got your cup of teas ready? So if you are, I've got one here and I'm convinced I'm going to knock it over. Let me just let this person into the group who might be wanting to join our live chat. Here we go. She's one of the ladies in my paid group. Okay, and I'll get you guys back up on here. So when you see it, if you're logged on, please just say hi. Let me know you can hear me and let me know whereabouts you're watching from in terms of the country. As well as, are you sat on your couch? Are you lying down in bed? Maybe you are out and about, grabbed a couple of minutes. So let me know what you are up to and where in the world you are. So I'm just going to give people just another couple of minutes to come and join us while I drink my rooibos tea. I say that because everybody, whenever I see people talk about tea at night, I go, oh, do they know it's got caffeine in it? So I'm drinking this rooibos tea. Oh, hi, Claire. How are you? It's rooibos tea or red bush tea is really high in vitamin C. And what with colds and viruses and obviously the coronavirus going around, keep your immune system high. And if you were on my email list, you would have seen that email go out today that talked about, was it today it went out? Yes, or yesterday, how to use exercise to fight the coronavirus. And the principles apply to any kind of cold and flu virus that are going around. So if you haven't seen that, I have done it as a blog post. It is on my webpage, myrehabfitness.com, if you head to the blog. Or there's a post coming out that will link to it in a couple of days. So if you were getting paranoid about the virus, is anybody getting paranoid about that? Or are people a little bit kind of feeling like the media have hyped it up? There tends to be sort of two trails of thought going on at the moment. All right. So while you're typing away there, do interact with me as we're talking. Let's talk motivation. Now tell me, for those of you that are watching, who is struggling with motivation? Type me if you are struggling with motivation. Now there might be a little bit of a lag in our little camera here. We've got Claire says, I work in travel and it's been crazy. Oh, it would be. A lot of people are talking about flights that are really cheap at the moment, but people are obviously then hesitant to book because they don't know, are they going to even be allowed to? We've got flights we need to book to go to Australia in a few months and we're wondering, do we just take advantage of the cheap flights or are they going to let us in there come July time? Nobody knows. So Claire's definitely struggling with motivation. Anybody else watching? And if you're watching via the replay, still answer the questions because it's really helpful to just get those feelings and those thoughts out there. You know, interact as much as you can. The thought process of doing this will help you as well. All right, so it's kind of going to end up more than 12 tips, but I've broken them down into 12 different categories. So grab a pen, grab some paper and have it handy because once you've watched this, you'll struggle to remember the thoughts that were kind of jotting through your brain. And I want you to have a couple of clear action points by the end of this session. And that's always the way I like to do these sort of coaching calls. We do them once a month in our Strong Fit Women online paid community, in the members group once a month. And every time people come away with 1, 2, 3 tips that they can action straight away. And we just generally try and keep it to 1 or 2 that you decide to use. and that would be my goal for you today. 1 or 2 things that you can put into action as of tomorrow. Okay, so that's your goal. All right, Jay says, yes, her definitely lacking in motivation. Right, so let's work through this process together then. Number 1 is be clear on your reason. What is your reason for wanting to exercise? Now have a think about that while I talk a bit more. Now when I'm talking about your reason, I want you to think about your whys. I mean, people throw that around quite a lot at the moment. It's like the buzzword, what's your why? But we posted out earlier, I think it was last week, in preparation for this sort of thought process idea. What is it that drives you to be active? Last week I talked specifically about lifting weights. That's kind of my area of expertise, lifting weights and Pilates. There's other things that help you keep going around that, but those are kind of my 2 main areas. And people, the most common reason for memory was to get stronger and feel more powerful. The second reason was to tone and shape their body. The third reason was for health reasons, increase bone density and reduce the risk of osteoporosis. That kind of came under one umbrella. But other reasons could be in terms of the physical outcome, to increase your strength, to increase your muscular endurance, to get a bit fitter, to improve your mobility or your flexibility. So that's kind of one area that might be your goal. It could be more aesthetic based, to tone your body up, to slim your shape down, or in some cases might be to get a bit bigger, to put on a little bit of muscle, to define your muscles or to shape them. So that kind of aesthetics goal might be there. The other one might be more related to your fat and weight levels. So is it about fat loss? Is it about weight loss? Or is it about both? I did an exercise in the paid group for 3 weeks. I did a sort of a live illustration, what's that flying around, of the process I would go through to lose weight for a weightlifting competition. And I talked people through, I did sort of a video diary every couple of days about how I was going, what my process in the morning would be, about planning the food. When it went wrong, what do I do to help people with strategies? My goal wasn't specifically to lose weight, it was to show people how to reduce fat. But weight loss can be a part of that too, and it certainly was in this exercise I did with them. So other reasons could be your physical health in terms of, at the moment, are motivated to exercise, could be just to keep your immune system up. And that goal would determine the level and the intensity at which you train at. Too high and you dampen the immune system, too low and you don't get the benefits. Is it about reducing the risk of coronary heart diseases? Is it about managing diabetes? Is it about reducing the risk of those developing later? So is it the medical side of things? What about the mental health? Is it about your moods? Is it about your stress levels? Is it just about giving you an emotional outlet for all the feelings and things that you've got going on? So is it emotionally based? What about kind of chemically based? Is it hormone related? Stress could come under both. Stress certainly is a hormonal effect. Is it to help you manage symptoms of menopause? Does it help you reduce your premenstrual tension? Is it about just balancing your hormones in general? It could be the insulin hormones, which sort of links to the health thing. So that's sort of the chemical aspect of the goal. Is it just about giving you a little bit more energy? With exercise, when you first start, of course, it's going to sap some of the energy from you, but long term, your body's going to have a reason to get fitter and stronger, and it's your training that gives it the stimulus to do that, so that once you're in rest, it can make those adaptations, and then life just gets a bit easier. And when it does, you've got more energy for fun. So is it to do with energy levels? Is it related to kind of the biomechanics in terms of how you move, how you stand? Is it to make sure that the posture is good, to reduce back pain? Is it to adjust the biomechanics in the knee, for example? Hello, Catherine. How are you? She's just joined us. Catherine, we're just talking about being clear on your reasons. And I'm just giving examples of the sort of categories of reasons it might fall under. So why is it that you want to exercise regularly? What is your reason? So have a think about that. By all means, if some of these have cropped up in your mind that you think, yeah, that is one of my reasons, share it if you'd like to. Type it in the comments. The more we interact, the kind of more fun the session will be. So is it about reducing aches and pains? I've got people that purely book personal training with me because they want to strengthen their knees, for example, pre and post-op, increase the mobility around there just to reduce the pain and increase the recovery. Or is it the social aspect? Is it just because you get to hang out with people? The gym is a great place to pick up partners, I hear. I'm married. But I have worked in gyms for a long time, and it is a meeting place sometimes for people to get together, and relationships do expand from that. So is it about, finding your next partner? Is it about just meeting up with friends and having that girl time together? Is it just because it's fun? You like prancing around with loud music in a place where other people are doing the same thing? And that was definitely one of my motivators to exercise. So Catherine says to reduce her back pain is her. Bex says, sorry, I'm so late. Hey, Bex, you're really not. It's okay. We're sort of just starting. We're talking about being clear on your reasons for exercise. So I've just talked through the different categories. So start popping ideas down now about your reason. And I just want to give you about a minute to jot that down. Share it in the comments or just write it down on your sheet of paper with you. I want you to have something with you that you can take away. So the next kind of part 2 of this is going to develop on from that. So just take a second to think of your reasons. I do love my little relaxing tea. I've tried to switch to just tea in the day, even though tea's got caffeine. This is normal breakfast tea, but it's also got a calming effect to it as well. So although you've got the caffeine, it actually calms the body down as well. You don't get that kind of with anxiety that coffee can give you. All right, so part 2 of this, the exercise is the 4 whys. Bex has put, I exercise because it makes me feel great. That was one of the social aspect, the fun part of it as well. So the 4 whys. So you've got your reason. That's kind of your answer to why number 1. Why do you want to exercise? So you've got that answer. Ask yourself why again. So for example, Bex, why do you want to feel great? For Catherine, she exercises because she wants to reduce her back pain. Why do you want to reduce your back pain? Go deeper to level number 2 of that. An example for me, we're going to keep going until you've answered why 4 times. It's called the 4 whys. And what this is going to do is help you understand your deeper inner motives. Now I'm going to share you mine. It's a little bit strange, probably completely different from everybody else, but why do I want to exercise? Why number 1? Because I want to be stronger and more athletic. So it is about being able to be strong for me. Being athletic is not just about lifting a heavy weight. I want to be able to kind of brings me on to number 2, why number 2, so that I can do cool things with my body. Things like being able to do a single leg squat, being able to do pull-ups. I want to be able to do press-ups, want to be able to do snatches. That's why I want to be strong and athletic. So that's level number 2, my second why. Why do I want to be able to do cool things with my body? My answer is because I want to be able to do things that not everybody can. Bit of a strange answer. Why do I want to be able to do things that not everybody can do? This is my 4th, and this is kind of a little bit putting me out there, because I want to stand out from the crowd and I want to be able to inspire other people to try and have a go themselves. That's why I want to be able to do something different than everybody else. I don't want to just be able to do the same basic things. I want to be able to do more. And I suppose it's that drive that led me to 3 Commonwealth Games. So I could even take it that's my 4 whys. I could take it one step further. Why do I want to be able to stand out from the crowd and inspire other people? because I get a huge amount of satisfaction and reward and sense of achievement when others give it a go just because they've seen me or listened to me do something. It feels like a huge sense of achievement. So that's what drives me, to inspire others and to stand out from the crowd, I guess. Because I get personal reward from seeing you guys try, not even necessarily achieve, although everybody that works with me, obviously I make sure that they achieve, but just trying and seeing you give it a go is such a great thing to be a part of. So how are we going? That's kind of tip number 2. Ask yourself the 4 whys. Pop done in the comments if you're ready for me to move on to tip number 3. I don't want to move on too quickly if you're still kind of mulling that over. All right. I think there's going to be a little bit of lag between me talking and it coming up on the screen. So I'm just going to carry on, but do stop me and I will go back if I see any comments come up. Okay, so number 3, we've talked about the why. We're then going to go on about the how. So this, I've got loads of notes here, by the way, so I am going to just double check I haven't missed anything. This is your physical workarounds. Do you have options and modifications to make sure that you can keep moving so you don't get stuck? This is the physical. How are you going to do it? So if you have, for example, a sore knee and you worked out your why, you want to exercise, maybe it's something unrelated to your knee, but you've got this knee and it's stopping you, how are you going to actually do that? Now, it could be that you just need a couple of other exercise options, so you need to get advice. Is it that thing that's stopping you? So I want you to think, do you have all the physical workarounds and exercise modifications you need to be able to move and do that? Okay, so this is your sort of own physical limitations. Do you have ways to work around that? How are you going to work around those? If you've got a bung leg at the moment, you can do upper body. So there's no reason to necessarily stop. A lot of time I get messages from people in my online group and PT clients saying, oh, I've hurt my ankle or my knee sore or I've stubbed my toe. I can't come training. Well, that's just one limb. You've still got the other limb, 2 arms and a core and a back that we can work out. So there's so much you can do. We can get you moving. We can keep you moving. All right, so that's kind of how part A. How part B, how you're going to actually get the exercise going. Do you have the equipment? Okay, if you don't have equipment, don't plan a session where you want to do lots of dumbbell work. You're going to have to obviously plan body weight. Now, I might be stating the obvious, but I just want you to have a think about these things. How actually are you going to do the session? Do you need to go and get yourself a suspension trainer? Do you want to buy dumbbells? Are you going to join the gym? How are you going to train? Let's kind of turn this idea and this goal into something you can actually do. Because it might just be that's stopping you actually doing it. Part C to that's the how part C. Do you have the knowledge? Do you know what you're going to do? I've worked with people and chatted just with friends. People like talk to me about fitness and I like them doing that. And they'll be like, I want to get fit. And I'm like, oh, okay, why do you want to do that? Oh, because I want to be able to run around with my kids, join in and just be a bit more active with them at the weekends. And they said, but every time I try, I get a little bit stuck and I lose motivation. And so we kind of go through the whys. They've sorted that. They've done all that stuff. But we talk a bit deeper about what happens. And it's that their knee gets sore, but they've chosen cycling. Maybe they need to choose something else. Or they get the idea of exercising. They maybe do 1 or 2 sessions, but they don't have a program to follow. So the motivation dives after a week because you can only make up your own routines for so long. PTs hire other PTs to write their programs. We don't even write our own programs most of the time. I write my programs for the Strong Fit Women ladies and then I do them and then I get PTs to take me through sessions as well to keep me motivated and inspired. So if we're doing that as PTs, It's going to be really hard for you guys who haven't had the same background in exercise perhaps to come up with your own training plans. You're going to struggle. You're going to find it a bit harder. So what is your game plan? Make one and know how you're going to get that knowledge. It might be that you get a program from off the internet. That's fine. If you've got your program and it's there, but if you're just going to make it up as you go along, your motivation's going to struggle. So that is your how part 3. Okay, how part 4 is, are there any other barriers? Is there anything else that stops you getting on and actually doing your exercise? Could it be, for example, one lady was talking about getting up and working out at 5:30 in the morning, but never goes to bed before 9:30 at night. It's just not going to happen. If you can't get to bed by 9:30, exercising at 5:30, the how is just not going to happen. So that would be a barrier. Are your gym clothes handy? Sometimes it's just about being a bit more organised with your washing. Have 2 changes of them. Strip one off once you've used it. Put it in the wash. Have the other folded up with your socks, your undies, your shorts, your sports bra and your t-shirt all together. So it's a case of when you've got 10 minutes, 15 minutes, you've already got it all there. You don't need to lose that exercise time finding your gym kit. It could be that you often plan to go to the gym on the way home from work, but if you never have your gym kit already in the car as a spare set with a towel, maybe even a tiny snack in the car that you can leave in there, so that if you've not had lunch, the how isn't going to be, oh, I'm so hungry, I can't train, I haven't got the energy. Preempt those things. Make sure you've got everything ready so there's none of those barriers. So that's your how. There's kind of 4 or 5 parts to that one. All right, we're just trying to make exercise easy for you. It's easy to do, easy to stay motivated when all that stuff is in place. Right, number 4, the what. How are we doing so far? Has anybody got any comments? Anybody got any comments on any of those? Anybody going to make any changes to what they do already based on what we've talked about? Okay, while you type that out, and do please feedback as we go. The what. So the first one could be the what for. What for? Why? What is the point of you doing this? Have a purpose to it. So we want to give yourself more of a purpose by popping in a deadline. Okay, so this is my what for. What's your deadline? Now, if your goal, for example, is weight loss, and I'm working with a few people about that, we work off an appropriate weight loss and we put deadlines in place. I like to put with weight loss, if you're doing it, we don't want to aim for any more than a 10% loss in body weight in the first 6 months. Okay, don't plan any further than that because things change. That's my first tip in terms of that. Then I would get a 3-month goal in terms of a deadline. So you can have a 6-month deadline, a 3-month deadline. That 3-month deadline needs to be broken down, and I would probably put it in monthly deadlines. Me personally, I quite like 3-week blocks if it's things like weight loss or fat loss. 4 weeks, a whole month feels like a long way away, and you can lose a week quite easily. People don't generally lose a week when I give them 3 weeks of a focus. So you work out how long you can stay focused for, and we need those mini goals in between. It could just be that you can only stay focused for 2 weeks on something and then it goes out the window. So you need 2 weekly goals in between those 3 and 6 monthly ones. Pop in the comments, what is your focus time? Mine is normally 3 weeks, and then I start to dive in terms of motivation. And the ladies in my group, when I did that exercise on fat loss for them, certainly saw those dips and dives as I talked them through that, and pulled in strategies to reignite that motivation. Okay, so that deadline could be a date. It could be an event you've got coming up. It could be an occasion that you're about to attend. It could be that you book yourself in for a race, for example. It could be that you create a public event. So, for example, my deadline was, I'd said to everybody this was my deadline and I was going to pitch up online live and talk them through where I was going to be, or I was going to do a post on that particular date. So people were waiting for an update. So that's your first what, the what for. The next what is the what will you actually do. How, are you going to train doing workouts online? This kind of goes back to the other one. If you were training with me, are you going to go via the lives, or are you going to go by the app, via the app, or are you going to do a combination of the two? What are you actually going to do? What days are you going to train? In terms of and how many times a week. So just sort out that what. What are you going to do? It's one of those, I will train 3 times a week and I will follow the program that I downloaded. I will train 4 times a week at the gym doing a workout that the PT gave me. Or I will train with Kate 4 times a week with her Strong Fit Women online program in my house. So those are kind of the whats I want. The date and the what are you actually going to do. So Jay says, I need to be more organised. My question is, in what? What do you need to organise, Jay? Is it the workout gear? Is it making sure that the time slots are still free that you've allocated? What needs to happen to keep those times free? So I want you to just have a think about what is it you're going to organise from tomorrow to make the exercise happen. And then your motivation will be a bit more because you'll be prepared for it. You'll be ready to go. It won't be hard. We lose motivation when it's hard. So my goal of this talk is to try and work out how to make it easier for you. Don't make it hard. It involves willpower. It'll fade. It'll be difficult. Okay. Next, number 5 is the where. Where are you going to train? Do you have a workout space? One of the ladies that I'm training at the moment, I'm training her for Pilates, but she's actually going to go and visit a gym because she wants to do more than that. And she finds that if she doesn't have an exercise space at home, so she wants to go out somewhere to train, that's going to be her where. If you plan to train at home, great. Where are you going to do it? Because if you're planning to do it in your bedroom and you've got a mirror over there, your clothes that need putting away, I'm just talking about my bedroom doesn't have mirrors. I read somewhere that it's bad feng shui and bad for your relationship if you have mirrors in your bedroom. I haven't got a single one in there. Anyway, does anybody else I'm not a big kind of into all that, but I do quite like those principles. Anyway, that's something totally different. But if in my room, I've got kind of a little slot either side of my bed. If that is mine, I'm going to need to adjust the program to make sure it fits my location. So where are you going to train? Write it in the comments. Where are you going to train? Now, you might lose motivation if you don't want to go to the gym because you're worried about coronavirus, but you want to stay active. Where are you going to go? Go to the park, train at home, and then that takes us back to the other questions. Do you have the equipment? Do you have the program to adapt to be able to do that? But you get the idea. Okay, anybody ready for me to move on? Give me a thumbs up on screen if you are. Jay says, haha, she needs to be more organised with everything, but definitely the workout clothes, the food preparation, and the exercise times. So for Jay, the food preparation, one example would be to have an idea of a snack that when you haven't had lunch and you know you need to train, what are you going to go to? Mine is always half a banana and a couple of nuts, something like that, for example. Just something that makes you feel like you've got a little bit of something in your belly. It's also something I can transport around with me so that I've always got something I can quickly snack on before I train if I've not had enough food earlier in the day. Okay, Catherine says she uses a gym. Cool, perfect. So you've done your where. All right, the when. Jay, this one is for you. When are you going to train? Write it down now. I want to know what days you're going to do it and what times. I did this exercise with a guy that I'm training online, and I do train men. I used to train loads of guys because they quite like learning weightlifting moves from somebody that's not an 18-year-old boy that's just wanting to kind of show off to them. So I used to train a lot of men because I did a lot of strength training and helped them kind of bulk up a little bit, put a load of muscle on. So one of the exercises we did with him was literally get him to send me a timetable, what days, and had he planned enough time to get home, because he's got a dog, he wanted to get back but didn't want to leave the dog on her own for too long through the day. So that actual logistics was a massive part of his success. So what days, what times, write them down now, either in the comments or on your bit of paper. Now have a plan B. So if you are planning to train 3 times a week, plan for 4, because life's going to get in the way of 1 and then you're still going to get your 3 sessions. Okay? Plan B for at least one of the sessions. Now have a look at those times. So you've planned, we want to train 3 to 4 times a week if your goal is for optimal body composition. So you've planned 4 to 5 sessions. So you got your 4 with your backup 5th or your 3 with your backup 4th. Is that realistic? So for example, it might be that what you've decided is the only time you can train is at 8:30 at night. But say for example, you've got 2 young kids, and if they're anything like mine, they're quite high energy. 8:30 at night is a time when I am knackered and it's really hard. Now I can train at that time, but it is hard for me to get motivated. Expect it to be hard. So if you're struggling with motivation, choosing that time to start with, if you know it's going to be tricky, is going to make life even harder. So don't choose that if your motivation levels are low. Perhaps if that was your particular situation, instead choose 4:30 and try and do a little bit with the kids. Even if you don't train as long, it's going to be easier to get in the process. Or choose 5:30 while they're having dinner. You're not going to do it every night, so you still get to have those family dinners the other days, but maybe quickly grab a 20-minute workout in there. So just have a think. Is it realistic? If you've picked first thing in the morning, are you a morning person? Could you develop being into a morning person? Have you ever been a morning person? If the answer is never, mornings might not be the best time for you. Let's look at something that's kind of more in tune with your general body clock. If you work late quite often, it's going to be hard for you to choose a morning time as well. So just have a think. Are those times realistic? And be honest with yourself. It's better to pick 2 times and nail those and get that habit on those 2 days than to pick 4 times and get none of them, because it's just unrealistic. All right, how are we doing with that? Have you got your times? Right, yep, in the comment if you've got your times. We're getting there. The next ones are quite quick. Those were kind of the biggie ones. How are we doing? Yep, in the comments if you got your times, or just pop a thumbs up on the screen. Okay, number 7, write some affirmations. Yep, Jay says, yep, ready to keep going. So affirmations can be really powerful. I used to use them for weightlifting. I use them kind of for my day-to-day life as well, and I encourage people in my group to use them. The idea is with affirmations, if you've never used that, is to write an I am or an I will statement that describes how you want to be, how you want to feel. So for example, it could be, anybody got affirmations that they use at the moment? I am motivated to exercise. It could simply be that. It could be I am awake and ready to go first thing in the morning. And these subtle messages to yourself about being or doing the things that you want to be doing and enjoying them, getting the emotions behind that affirmation. kind of send signals to the brain that change your subconsciousness and your sort of personal outlook, that slowly those decisions become more likely to happen. You start believing in those and then becoming that person that you're trying to be anyway. Now, I'm not talking about changing. I'm just talking about these goals, this person, these behaviors that you want to be doing in the next 3 to 6 months. Write some affirmations about you doing them now. 3 affirmations, keep it simple. Write them down or type them and put them on your bathroom mirror, because you're going to look at that when you brush your hair in the morning, and say them out loud every day. Anybody got any affirmations that they use already that they'd like to share? It could be, I am confident in the gym, if you actually already feel a bit nervous and you'd like to be more confident, because maybe that fear of going in there is what stops you. If it's busy, you look at the gym and you think, I don't want to go in, it's busy. Make your affirmation along the lines of, I feel confident when I'm in the gym. So that next time when it's a little bit busy, you can say your affirmation and you've said it 100 times. You're just going to go in and you're going to get your gym session done. Okay, so that's number 7, write some affirmations. Number 8 is focus how you feel after your exercise session. How do you feel after your exercise session? Tell me now. For those of you that have done an exercise session and can remember how you feel, how does it make you feel when you're just either doing it or towards the end? And I only want you to come out with the positive feelings, because there's no point talking about the negative feelings. When I was weightlifting, sometimes I would go in and the weights would feel heavy. I would feel sluggish. I would feel slow. If I focused on that, it would just become harder. So by telling myself that I'm going to finish the session and instead use my affirmations, I am strong, I am fast, I've got great technique, I start to apply that within the session, and then it becomes a little bit easier. So focus on the positives. If you hear yourself talk about negative stuff, switch it around, fill it with something positive instead. And focus on how you feel afterwards. Find positive words and keep reinforcing that. If you saw my video today, I posted out about bread making. I often leave it far too late and I can't be bothered to put all the stuff in the bread maker. But when I start focusing on how it makes me feel when I get nice fresh bread, it's enough to motivate me to actually go through with it and not worry about the effort and the hard bit about doing it. I focus on that outcome and that immediate outcome. So by focusing on immediate benefits and the immediate feel-good positive stuff that you get from it makes you more likely to train. Research has shown that. So Beck says, she's talking about affirmations here. So Beck says, I just keep thinking of hypnobirthing affirmations. I did hypnobirthing too, as you know, Bex. And yeah, it was really helpful, though there was about 10 different affirmations. And that was actually, I used to use affirmations in weightlifting and for the hypnobirthing. I use them to stop me spending money sometimes. I am great at saving, things like this. It's actually really quite powerful, though. They always feel lame when you say them out loud, I find, but I know that they work, so I do it. All right, Jay says, sense of achievement is what gets her feeling when she's finished. Anybody else got any positive feelings that they can share? For me, Monday, I was in the gym and I finished a session and I had 25 minutes and I thought, I want to do some back work because I'm trying to just kind of postural work, keep my shoulders back and all that. And I wanted to do a bit of cardio. It was nice, easy. It switches the brain off. Now, does anybody drink wine? Give me a thumbs up on here if you drink wine. Who drinks wine? Friday night wine. I always have a glass of wine on a Friday night. Even when I'm stripping fat, I will still have a glass of wine on a Friday night. So that feeling, for those of you that drink wine, when you have a few thumbs up coming on, you hear lots of thumbs up. So you drink wine. Remember that feeling, when you pour your wine and you just take that first sip. For me, it's red or rosé in the summer. And it just goes, I got on the cross trainer and it gave me that feeling. And I thought, God, that's like my Friday night wine. I just really needed it. So now I've locked that in my brain. Lock your good, happy, positive feeling in your brain so that then when you're going to do a session the next time and you don't feel like doing it, you can focus on getting that happy feeling, whatever it is for you, whether it's that you feel calmer, more relaxed. Richard Branson, whenever he can't solve a problem, he goes to the gym. So he's focusing on that immediate benefit. He's going to be able to problem solve. That's what gets him in the gym sometimes. So that's number 8. Focus on the immediate benefits. Find your positive outcome that you feel within minutes or hours of finishing the gym session. It could just be that you sleep better, but it's got to be something that's within kind of that day, within 24 hours of finishing your session. Okay, number 9. Thumbs up if you're ready for number 9. Right. One lady I was talking to in the group, she said to me that she wanted to be at the point where she just does it. So she wants to be able to just come home from work, get a gym gear on and just get on and do it, because she knows that once she's in the routine, it's easy. So what we needed to do with her is work out what's happening that's stopping her getting in the routine. We needed to take the decision process out of it so that she could just do it. So number 9 is take away the decision. Make it so it just happens. So for example, if we're talking about food, if you are struggling because you have an addiction to, this is the lady I was talking to today, peanut butter or Coke Zero, take out the decision. Don't make willpower a part of it. Just don't have it in the house. If you want to eat healthy through the day, take all your food with you. Take a packed lunch, and that's certainly what I do when I want to eat really healthy. And don't take your money. Then there is no decision. You will just do it. You'll eat what's in your lunchbox. You won't go to the shops because you haven't got any money for the shops. So it takes away the decision. If it's to do with exercise, it's a little bit harder. So what can you do to remove the decision-making process? One example could be that you get in your gym gear a couple of hours before you know it's going to be a bit harder to motivate yourself, so that you don't have to have that as a part of decision. You're already in your gym kit, your gym's set up, your music's already chosen, your workout's there. All you've got to do is just get on and do it. There's less decisions to make on the way. So what can you do to take away some of the decision-making processes? So next time you are about to try and do some exercise, just kind of observe the decisions that you're making between deciding and planning that session to actually doing or not doing it. What decisions have you made? Then next time, what can you do to take away a few of those? Because every decision you have to make is a potential chance to change your mind. If you've only got to do 2 things, start warming up and put your music on because you've already chosen what to wear, you've already chosen the time and blah, 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 then it's going to be less chances for you to say, no, I'm not going to exercise. That might be a new one for a few of you. Has anybody got any thoughts on that? Taking away the decisions, the number of decisions. Okay, what else? Number 10, inject your own fun. What does fun when you exercise look like for you? Now, the exercise itself might not be the fun part, but what is fun to you that you can inject into it? So for example, are you a person that likes music? That's the obvious one. Can you put some tunes on that you enjoy? Are you a sociable person and therefore don't think about exercising by yourself? How can we inject some social aspect into that? In my group, for those women that are sociable bunnies, they join in with the lives and they interact with me, even if they're using it via the replay. And sometimes I can catch them. They're following the video via the replay and I'm there on my phone and I can see they're answering. So they're getting some interaction around that. A little bit strange, but you get my drift. Some of them, if everybody's in during the live times, they'll interact with each other as well. Could you enlist the support of a buddy and train with somebody? You could do my online program and pair up with somebody and do it together. We've had people do that. Do you need to go down to the gym or head to the park? Maybe you're somebody that fun for you is exercising outside. Therefore, don't think about planning exercise in a gym. go down to the park, take your dumbbells and go and do it there. So how can you inject your own definition of fun into your exercise? For me, it's music. For me, it's being a bit sociable. And for me, it's a challenge. Those are my three kind of ways of popping in fun. So if I'm on my own, I have to inject a bit of a challenge to myself. I kind of play a little bit of a game. If I lift this, am I going to be able to do that? Or some sense of, or like Jay says, she gets a sense of achievement. So Jay's part of her fun is going to be making sure that there is, right, this is what we want to try and do so that she can do it and then feel good about it. Kelly says music totally helps. Yeah, it's quite cool, isn't it? I love music. Okay, number 11. So while I'm talking number 11, type in what things make it fun for you. People, music, environment, the type of exercise you do. If you don't like dumbbells, try resistance training using body weights, Swiss balls, bands, kettlebells, suspension trainers. Choose something that you find fun. Okay, number 11, increase your accountability. That might be enough to motivate you. So how can you do that? You could enlist the help of a buddy. That might mean meeting up with somebody to train. We've talked about that one as an example. It could be, so for example, in my online training group, a couple of people are quite close in location or have chatted a lot in the group, even if they're not close in location. So these people could get into the habit, and we did this as an exercise before. There was a group of about 3 or 4 of them when they were struggling. They got each other's contact numbers and set up a little private group themselves. They would message each other and say, I'm going to train on Tuesday at 6. And on Tuesday morning, they would check in. And then once they'd done it, they would write done and tell each other they'd done it. So they were keeping each other accountable, because if they were all going to exercise on Tuesday, you don't want to be the one person that's not writing done when the 3 other people in your group of 4 are saying done. So there are lots of different ways you can increase your accountability. So think a little bit outside the box. One lady in my group has enlisted the help of her kids, because kids can be really good at nagging. So when she tells her son that she needs his help to train at this particular time, she's got a calendar up there. He can go, Mum, it's Tuesday, you need to be training today. And kids love telling their parents what to do, don't they? So give them a job, give them something that they're allowed to tell you what to do. And a lot of the time, they will just relish in that. And then if they say to you, well, why aren't you doing it? It's kind of hard to say, well, because I can't be bothered. Because you're a bit of a role model for them, aren't they? So maybe you can keep yourself accountable using your kids or your husband, your wife, your partner, whoever it is. Some people keep themselves accountable by booking me for PT, for example. So what way can you keep yourself a little bit more accountable? If you join my online group, and membership is open this week, I check in every week to see how people are doing. So on top of that, if anybody is not managing 2 workouts a week, they start to get messages from me to just check in with them. And if I don't get any messages after a period of time, they might get a phone call from me. So, and that's not me there to nag them to say, don't do this. Why you're not training. It's more of a, hey, how's it going? What's getting in the way right now? And do we need to come up with a new plan for you? So that's your accountability. We're nearly there, team. Jay says, doing it live with me in the group makes it fun for her. Yeah, they're really good, the lives, aren't they? They're really good fun. Okay, number 12, enlist the support you need. So enlist support in whatever way is going to help you most, and get it out there. So when I say get it out there, tell everybody what you're trying to achieve. Because when it's just a little thing inside here, often we don't share our goals because we're worried about failing. So if your goals are realistic, you can stay motivated, you've got your accountability, enlist the support, whether that might be some people just need encouragement, some people need accountability, Some people need support to help with the logistics of physically making it possible, whether that's a ride to the gym area, whether that's entertaining the kids so they can train. Enlist support in whatever way you need to help you get the session done. And tell everybody what you're doing, because then they'll ask and you'll be like, if someone asks me, I need to give them something positive to say. So as long as I'm training, I'm going to be able to reply in a positive way. So there you have it. 12 top tips, tried and tested, being used currently by all the women that I'm training and some of the men that I'm training right now. I've used pretty much every single one of these myself, some more than others. And hopefully that will help motivate you. And what I'm interested in before you guys head off is which one or two things are you going to take away and start putting into practice from tomorrow? Which one or two things that we've talked about have stood out in your mind? And again, if you're watching via the replay, please respond and let me know. Which has been the most helpful tip that you're going to take on board and just take away with you from today's session? So while you're writing that, you've seen the post out. Strong Fit Women Online is open to new members this week. So we have got over 70 women in the group and they are awesome. They're all different levels of fitness, skill, and background, but they are all trying to get a bit fitter, a bit stronger, and kind of create these bodies that they feel proud of what they can do. And it's a really supportive community, and a lot of the ladies you've heard from today have been responding. Now, I've only got 15 spots available. I keep membership short and small so that I can concentrate on all the new women that are coming into the group and make sure that you get settled, that you know what to do, that I help you create your plan, and really just bring you into the group with a really kind of gentle onboarding process with information and support and guidance. Because it's really important that you know what to do. And all of these questions that I've talked to you today are stuff that you get prompted to think about. So we're open until Sunday for new members to join. There's a monthly option, a 3-monthly option, and an annual option. The annual option would work out the equivalent of $6.50 a week. And with that, you get 4 workouts. You don't have to do them all. You could train twice a week, 3 times a week, or 4 times a week. You get the workouts through on your app, each with a video exercise of that if you need to learn technique. But you also get the live workouts. So 3 times a week, I take 3 of those 4 workouts and do them live with the women in the group. And Jay's there, who you've heard from today. Loads of the other ladies drop in, say hi. Some just do it via the replay. And what they found is if you're new to the exercise and you're trying to learn it, you get lots of coaching tips on technique, so you can really tailor that. And I've been doing this 20 years, so I know the common pitfalls and I can advise you what to look for. There's beginner options as well as advanced options, so you will find the right level for you. And if you've got any questions, you just ask me or the other women in the group. We start Monday, a fat loss and fitness phase. Lots of body weight stuff, some low level exercises. You don't need heavy weights. All you need to get started is you, and if you've got access to it, a set of light dumbbells. So we start Monday. Come and join us, and you'll get the benefit as well of all that kind of stuff that I've just talked about. But our monthly coaching call this month is going to be on food labelings to give you some tips like what we've just done today that you can take away with you. And then in April, same kind of idea, but we've got one on gut health. So heaps of stuff to help you. If you're ready to take the plunge, come and join today. Don't even wait till Sunday because there's only 11 spots left. 4 have already gone. I know a couple of others are going to take some. So just do it right now. You'll be secured your spot and you get a week free just to have a go. And if you change your mind, let me know. And you can just stay in the free group for that then. So I will see you guys join. Come and say hi to the other ladies in the group. And let's keep that motivation going. I've got heaps of strategies to share with you. So that is everything from me today. So Catherine says hers is the affirmations. Cool. So write yours down, Catherine, and Start them from tomorrow. Pop them on your mirror. All right, ladies, thank you so much for joining me. I hope you got heaps out of it, and I will see you in the group. Don't forget, hit the button, join us now. See you later.